Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Becoming a Powerhouse brand podcast. I'm very excited today. We have the lovely Sarah Pocklington on, who is a visibility and confidence speaker coach. Now, I talk a lot about being visible in a way that lights you up, that feels good, that shows off the best version of you. But like I said on a recent episode, sometimes that is about testing and experimenting with things. Like we are not born confident on camera. And the reason I've got
Mhm.
Sarah on today is to talk about how you can be more confident on camera because it is an alien thing. It's very alien to be talking into a camera on the screen with all eyes on you, and your eye is just going to be drawn to your own face and all of your flaws that you see. So, Sarah, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much. It's absolutely lovely to be here. And even as we're starting this morning, both of us will have had those moments, as we have got the cameras on while we're recording this, of what am I going to wear? Have I got my setting? Is my lighting? All that kind of, we have all of
Yeah,
that stuff goes on, and it comes with practice. It does
absolutely.
come with practice. We all feel uncomfortable at times with the camera.
Yeah.
Um,
So true. Could you just give us a bit of an introduction into what it is that you do, how you help your clients, and how you even got into this? Like, how did you become a visibility and confidence speaker coach?
Okay, well, we'll start with how I became the visibility and confidence coach first. And it was entirely by accident. Um, so my background is in learning and development. I've worked in not-for-profit, local government, civil service. I spent more than 30 years designing and delivering workshops and facilitating and presenting and doing talks and all that kind of stuff. And it's always been really natural to me. And then I took redundancy and I decided to qualify as a coach. And I enjoyed the coaching, but there was something missing when I was coaching. And I also qualified at the same time as an NLP practitioner. And that got me very interested in the way that we think and why we do things that we do. It really sort of opened my eyes to what might be going on in our minds. And I sort of drifted around for a bit and didn't really know where I was going or what I was going to do. And then I was in a business mentoring group and we were challenged. We were that if we went live into the Facebook group and delivered something live to the Facebook group, there was a bonus, but only people who went into the group would get the bonus. And I was like, well, I'm going to go into the group because I want the bonus. I didn't know what it was. Um, and I remember it was the first time in a long time that I'd done any kind of delivery or gone live. It's post COVID. I've had a couple of years doing the coaching. So everything's been online, one to one, haven't done anything to a group, all that kind of stuff. And I decided to do a session, decided to run a 10-minute session. And that was all fine until I tried to switch the camera on. And I genuinely thought I was going to vomit. Genuinely, my stomach, and I was like, what on earth is that about? Because I've presented to thousands of people over the years, but talking to the dot at the top of the screen, not knowing if there was anybody there. Um, Went in, it took a deep breath, eventually got started, and came off it and thought, wow, I really enjoyed that. But why did it take me so long to get started?
Yeah.
And people started saying to me, you're really natural at this, Sarah. You're really good at this. And I tried doing some live interviews, which you did one back in January. Um, and I started out decided to do some live interviews with people. And people were saying, you make me feel really safe. It really built my confidence. And since I spoke to you, I've started going on camera more. And it's like, so it literally happened by accident. So had that person not challenged me and had I not been so determined to get the bonus, then it never would have happened. I didn't set out to be talking to people about being confident on camera, but I guess there's also a link with all my years of delivering presentation skills and facilitation, teaching people to facilitate and present. And a lot of what I talk about now is the same thing, but with the slant on being on camera, because I see people who are really good presenting in person, and you're in the room with them and you think, wow, this person is fabulous. And then you see them online and you're like, where did you go?
Yeah.
Where is that person that I met? And some of it is about confidence. Some of it is about knowing how to use the tech effectively. or being overwhelmed by the tech and thinking that you've got to do things that actually you really don't need to do. And some of it is just not realizing that when you are on camera, you have to do things slightly differently. You do pretty much all the things you do in person,
Yeah.
but then there are some extra things to think about, which when you get them right, well, you are going to set the internet on fire.
Yeah. It's really interesting you saying about your past experience in when you were working, when you were employed. And I think this is a really interesting thing to cover because we're very good, particularly as women, at forgetting our kind of past life in what we used to do and bringing those skills in. It's almost like
Mm.
that's then not relevant to what we're doing. But actually, so many of the women that I speak to that do struggle with their confidence online, they were leading teams in their corporate life. They
Mm.
were presenting, they were doing all these amazing things, but they've almost just it because they were representing a business or a brand, they don't then
Hmm.
see it in the same way. So it almost feels like there's more pressure on them because they're actually representing themselves, aren't they, when they're doing it for their own business?
I think that's absolutely true. And I know that I did that myself for a long time. The whole journey into becoming a coach was a distraction. I wanted to get away from what I'd been doing in corporate. It hadn't been terrible, but it hadn't been the happiest experience over the final sort of 12 months or so. And I wanted to get away from it. And I was dismissing all the skills that I had. But there's been this thing, and I think this does happen um, as well to some of the women that we speak to in particular. You start off by disregarding it and moving on. And I don't want to do that anymore. And whether it's the bad memories or the association, or you're just not valuing it and you're thinking that was a different you and you're not that you anymore. But what I came to realize was every time I stepped back in front of a group of people and started running workshops or leading a conversation or facilitating, I suddenly felt right. I suddenly felt really happy and confident and that I was in the right place. So I think there was a part of me that was part of me that I was thinking was actually the business corporate part of me, but it was always there. It's just that I used it in business. And once I accepted that that was part of me and I returned to the things I was good at, the things that made me happy, the things that made me feel like I was really contributing something, suddenly everything started to fall into place and it got a lot easier. And
Yeah.
things started to be more, I returned to being myself. And I know that's something you've talked about on previous podcasts. I know in fact, you were talking about that on your last one, this idea of who am I?
Yeah.
Who am I becoming? Who have I been? And for me, it was a real circle moment of actually that is the thing that I love doing. That is the thing that I've always been really good at, and denying myself the permission to do the thing that I really love doing just because I had an unhappy time, or maybe there were some people that I didn't like and I didn't get on with and it wasn't very nice,
Yeah.
was the wrong way to look at it.
Yeah. And that's like an instinct, isn't it? Because it is that
Mhm.
fight or flight. Like our brains are constantly wired to look for the threats, to look for the things that
Mhm.
may make us die, because that's essentially what we're looking
Yeah,
at. It's very black and
absolutely.
white. So when we're thinking about, oh, well, that person said that, or I heard that thing from somebody else, and what if they don't like
Mhm.
this? That's literally we almost self-sabotage ourselves. And it's almost it's overcoming that and focusing on the but look at all these incredible people that do fully support me and they're the ones that I'm speaking to.
Mhm.
You're not then speaking to the ones that don't agree with you, that aren't magnetized about to you. And I talk about this a lot about being magnetic, and I think some people might think that being magnetic is about attracting everybody and being this person that everybody is
Mm.
drawn to, but it's not. It's about you being your true self so that you
Mm.
attract the right aligned people into your spaces, isn't it? And not you're not going to be for everybody.
That's it. And again, that took me a long time to get comfortable with that because, and that's when we start to go into that sort of vanilla space. I mean, it's a phrase that I hate, but if you're being vanilla, and I know that I spent quite a lot of time, I probably wasn't even making it to vanilla. I was like just plain. There was just no flavor
Yeah,
because I was trying to please other people, and I also found myself getting very sucked into this is what you should be doing. This is how you do it. And it was like, and I would watch people and I would listen to people and I think, but that's not how I want to do it. but they're telling me that's the way we do it these days.
Yeah.
And there was a real conflict going on inside. And the moment that I decided that I was just going to do it my way, and I was going to let Sarah come out and be who she'd always wanted to be, was incredible. And even now, I get butterflies in my stomach thinking about it, because old Sarah, sort of hiding away, oh, I've got to do it this way, I've got to do it that way. I'm not an expert. I haven't got enough experience. She was really crushed. She was
Yeah.
really playing it small. And I won't say it's a finished article yet, but I am really enjoying just allowing myself to have fun. And because I'm having fun, again, I'm attracting people.
Yeah.
I'm attracting the sort of people that are interested in what I do, rather than, God, I really need people to come into my world.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. We're drawn to fun, aren't we? We all need more
Hmm.
fun in our lives. So we're always going to be drawn to the person that highlights that for us in a way that is aligned to us. And I think it's really interesting because where I work in the space of personal brand, it is about
Hmm.
you taking center stage and taking that spotlight and showing up
Hmm.
as your true self. And that can be really challenging if you've never done it before and you've kind of been hiding behind your business or hiding behind the products or hiding behind the testimonials. You can be the most amazing person in business, but if you're not showing up and taking that center
Mm.
stage, nobody's going to know who you are. And I think, what would you say to somebody that is feeling like they're a bit lost? Because let's face it, the online space is so noisy, isn't it? There's so much information, so much
Hmm.
content. We're scrolling so fast all the time. What would you say to somebody that's now realized, okay, I need to start showing up, but it just feels like such an alien concept? Like, I don't even know how to go about having that confidence there to speak on a camera.
Hmm.
Because let's face it, the first
Hmm.
time might even be an Instagram story, which isn't actually a big deal at all, but it really is when you're doing your
It
first
could be,
one.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, what would you say to somebody that is at that point?
I think the thing is, find something that you're really happy to share. Find something that you're really happy to tell the world, that not, and that might sound a bit sort of abstract, but it's difficult to sell something that you don't believe in. And if you're going to sell yourself, and I'm using that word very cautiously, because selling itself can bring certain things like, oh, I find it really hard to sell and set
Yeah.
prices, and that's a whole other discussion. But if you want people to be more visible, it's really identifying what it is that's keeping you visible. And I'll tell you, there were two things that were game changers for me. One was the conversation that I had with you earlier this year when we did our little interview back in January, and you were talking about the person being at the heart of the brand in a way that I hadn't really heard anyone else do it. And I'd always had this sense that I was the brand, not my brand was the brand, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. That I am the brand, however, whatever I want to make of it, it's me. If somebody's booking me, if somebody's inviting me to speak, they're booking me. They're not booking my logo on my website. But I was getting a conflicted message, and you said, no, you are the heart of your brand, and you can make your brand be whatever you want to be. So start by, who are you? And what is that one thing that you'd really like to share? And find a way that you can be visible that is comfortable for you. And actually, it might not be being on camera straight away. It might be photographs with you in them that, maybe get some brand photos done. And it doesn't have to be expensive. There are lots of people that will do mini shoots and stuff like that. And actually, you can do an awful lot if you know how to use your phone camera correctly. Um, and start with something like a photograph that you're really happy to share, and then your face is out there and people are
Yeah.
seeing you. So start where you feel comfortable, but then there will be people who are, right, if I'm going to do it, I'm going all in. So if you're a go all in person, again, what is it you want to talk about? 30 seconds, switch on your phone, talk to your phone, making sure you're looking at the camera on your phone, not looking at the screen, so that you look out at the people that might be scrolling past and they go, oh, she's looking at me. I'll stop and listen to this and record yourself for 30 seconds. No thinking, no editing, no rescripting, no redoing, and just press send or post or whatever the technical term is, and it's done.
Yeah.
And it might take you 2.5 hours a day, a week to get to that point. But the minute you do what I did back in that very first session where I clicked go live, the minute you do it, I promise you it will suddenly get easier. And
Yeah.
you'll be like, well, that was easier than I thought. And once you've done it once, it becomes less about how you feel about going on camera and more about what am I going to talk about next? When am I going to do it again?
Yeah. It's so true. And for some people, like I know myself included, that very first time I went live, I was terrified. And even afterwards, I can't even remember thinking that wasn't so bad. I thought that was just horrible. I never want to do that again. But I did it again. And the more I did it, and now video
Yeah,
is my
there you go.
absolute favorite thing to do. But it's just some people will literally do that first one and think that really wasn't so bad at all.
Yeah, they will. And also, um, one of the things I talk about when we're going a little bit beyond, because I usually start with my clients in terms of let's get you comfortable with the technology because the technology is that first barrier.
Yeah.
And I can use not knowing how to do it as an excuse until the cows come home. So if we start by making sure you know how to do it, that excuse is gone.
Yeah.
Now it's about why aren't you doing it? What's really stopping you doing it? Um, and one of the things that I find very helpful with clients generally at this point is to remind them, who is this message for? Is it for you to look at yourself and go, oh my God, look at the state of that, the wrinkles, I shouldn't have put that top with that thing. It's not for you to sit there and critique yourself.
Yeah.
It's for you to communicate with your audience, with your potential clients, with your potential, in my case, people who might want to book me to run workshops or deliver talks. And they're booking the personality and the person and the feeling and the energy and the presence. They're not booking. I mean, you've got that fabulous cap on. You look absolutely stunning today, but probably outside of this, the conversation we might have would be, yeah, I just put this on because I haven't washed my hair today. But it looks fabulous. We will find that negative, that
Yeah.
oh, ugh, we will talk it down. But think about who are you communicating with? What is the purpose of you going on camera? Is so other people can see you and they will see you, they will hear you, they will get a feel for you, and they will decide that is somebody I want to follow. That is somebody I want to know more about. That is somebody who looks like me, sounds like me, talks about the things that I'm having
Yeah.
problems with. And the thing about the difference between a written post, a photo, and a video is the written post, well, you get a sense of the voice, but there's always that thing of, is that really how that person talks? And of course, that's a big thing right now. The photo, yeah, she's got a nice smile. She's got nice eyes. She looks friendly, but I'm still only getting part of the picture. When you put yourself on the camera, um, people can see how you talk. So if somebody was watching what we're recording right now, they'd see that I use my hands a lot, I move around a lot, I'm quite an animated speaker. Um, you're nodding at me, there's little smiles. We've got all of this whole
Yeah.
visual thing. We're getting that complete package. And actually you'll be getting a sense of the energy of that person. And people say
Yeah.
to me, oh, but it's different to being in person. It's different to being in person. It is different to being in person, but it doesn't mean you can't create the connection and the energy.
Yeah.
And when you show up on camera and people see you, that's when you get that, oh, moment.
Yeah. It's creating that chemistry, isn't it? It's like really interacting with your
Absolutely.
audience. And I think when you've got a video, we naturally will pause, whether we'll completely stop,
Mm.
but we will pause when we're scrolling through because it's like someone's talking to me. It's almost like it's a very British thing, isn't it? I don't want to be rude. I don't want to ignore this person that's talking to me. Yeah.
And it is that sense. And if you can do it, I like to do things very conversationally. Um, I do a certain amount of rehearsal in terms of if I'm gonna make of it. So I posted I've posted a couple of videos in the last week or so, and I decide what I'm going to talk about, and then I create a little script for myself, and then I do run through it a couple of times before I start trying to record it, just so that it's flowing in my head,
Yeah.
but not to the point where it sounds like I'm reciting a poem. That works really well for some people. If you are somebody who wants to learn it to that degree, then do so. If that is your style, absolutely do that. But for me, I like it to be very conversational.
Yeah.
But having said that, if I'm going to an event in December, and we're going to do this crazy thing where we've got 3 minutes to talk and the slides change every 15 seconds, and you've only got 3 minutes. So for that one, I will be perfect reciting a poem, kind
Yeah.
of, but still trying to keep my personality and my energy. But
Yeah.
for when I'm trying to connect with clients and help people with their camera confidence, it's keeping it conversational, keeping it real. Talk to your audience the way that you would talk to them in person.
Yeah.
Um,
That sounds really good.
and
And I think,
yeah,
like, what would you say? Because I know you very much, like when you're speaking in person, you've got all the sparkles. So how would you help somebody in terms of really showing up as their most confident version of themselves? Because I think if you've done that prep and you actually feel confident in what you're wearing, how you're showing up, you're going to be more confident when you're on the camera, aren't you?
absolutely.
Than if you're just sat there in like a hoodie and a pair of joggers that don't actually make you feel good. For some people, that they might feel amazing in those things. I'm not saying there's
Yeah.
anything wrong with that, but it's yeah. What would you say to those people?
I think this is such a sensitive subject, and there are some really strong opinions at this. And my view, um, so I use a very simple mnemonic to get people started, and it's background, lighting, outfit, camera, sound. So sort out your background, make sure the lighting's good, and then it comes to outfit. And I think the outfit is the thing that often gets overlooked when we are online. I think this is where people make the most that where people think there are the most rules, but actually it's the same rules as when you are in person with a few adjustments. And it is wear something that makes you feel comfortable. If you are going to run a webinar, for example, if you were going to deliver that session in person, in the room with the people, what would you wear? Wear that. If you're going to do going to an online networking event, because it's not just about presenting on camera when you're recording videos, it's also about that in meetings, talking to clients, and as I say, networking. If you're going to an online networking event, what would you wear if that was an in-person networking event? What would you wear if you were running a workshop? What would you wear if going to an interview? I apply the same rules to online. So this morning, because I knew that we would have cameras on, because I know you want to take some bits for YouTube, I thought, right, what would I like to wear today that fits in with being filmed?
Yeah.
So I have taken a bit of time to get ready this morning. It helps me feel like I'm going to work. I'm ready to
Yeah.
get started. I'm in that moment. When I used to work in corporate, if I was running a workshop, people would know I was running a workshop that day by what I was wearing when I came in the morning. They go, "Oh, you're in class today, aren't you, Sarah?"
Like
Because I would
showtime
wear some,
outfit.
yeah, and it's not power dressing, that's too extreme, but it was that sense of this is Sarah in presentation mode. This is Sarah in going for an interview mode. And that's how I approach it online. There are a few rules when it comes to picking your outfit when you're going to be presenting, when you're going to be on camera online. And a lot of them, if you've got your background sorted and you've got good lighting, then the outfit becomes a lot easier. If you've got bad lighting and a busy background, then the outfit becomes much more important. So that's why I
Yeah.
take people through in that order. And as you say, when I am presenting in person, I wear my sparkles, and I've got that fabulous purple sequin top, which is in all my brand photos and stuff as
Yeah.
well. But I don't wear it on camera because the sequins on camera just go a little bit funny. I mean, I was wearing a top with sequins on yesterday and I was driving. And on my way home, the sun came out and it was like a disco ball in the side of my car. And it was actually really distracting driving. So I don't wear my sequin top online because it would just be a bit too much
Yeah.
and it would be a distraction. But I've mentally got my sequins on.
Yeah, exactly. It's getting yourself prepared in a way that feels really good to you, doesn't it? And I think it's not about this isn't about perfection at all. It's not about
No.
having everything perfectly polished. And I think that in itself, we're like I'm an ex-perfectionist myself, in that it's actually taken me a lot
Hmm.
of work to embrace just being who I am and taking each day as it comes. Like yesterday, I was in a hoodie and joggers, and actually I felt really good wearing those things. I didn't feel guilty for wearing them either. And I think it's just wear what makes you feel the most confident version of you, whatever that feels like on that particular day, and without feeling like you're being judged. Because when you're just showing up as your true self, remember the only people you're speaking to are the people you're trying to attract into your spaces, and they're gonna love
Yeah,
everything about you by how you're showing up in your energy.
absolutely. And we've all worn outfits where and we've ended up in situations where you're like, God, I really wish I hadn't worn this jacket. This is a really itchy jumper. These shoes are a bit too pointy and they're crushing my toes. And that those little bits of discomfort
Yeah,
come through. And it's like, wear stuff that makes you feel good
yeah,
and things that make you feel confident. And we all have those outfits. And the whole debate about makeup, no makeup, have I done my hair, the apologizing because my hair's a mess because I've just come back from walking the dog. We don't need, I mean, say, yeah, I've just come back from walking the dog, but don't apologize
yeah,
that your hair
exactly.
is a mess because actually people will be more interested in the fact that you've got a dog because instant conversations start. I wonder what sort of dog she's got. I wonder where
Yeah,
she's been for a walk.
exactly.
You know
Yeah,
that so never apologize. I mean,
yeah,
apologize for being late. If something has gone wrong and you haven't been able to go ahead, then obviously say I'm really sorry about this, but there's the promise to come back. But don't apologize for being you. Don't apologize for how you look and sound and your accent and your outfit because that's that nasty little corporate different life, what people have said to us in the
yeah,
past coming back. You are fabulous as you are, and that is who is going to connect. And that was the lovely thing, Jackie, actually, about when we did Light Leaders, your events, not just with the other speakers that were there, but with the people in the audience who were there, who were actually saying, it took me ages to get dressed this morning, but I'm so glad I wore this outfit. I'm so glad I've
uh,
come along today. It's so nice to see people just being themselves. And it's like, yeah,
yeah,
and you're being yourself
yeah,
too. And
exactly.
there was such a lovely feel in that room. And you can create that same sort of connection and feeling online.
Absolutely.
It's about pushing yourself through that first
Yeah,
go
it's giving
live
yourself
moment.
permission, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you're the
Oh,
only person
exactly.
that can
Yeah,
give you permission.
exactly. We get to take center stage in our own life. We're the only ones in control of our own life.
Absolutely. And there is that thing, you only get one, and there is somebody out there for everybody. And the thing that you are doing, there is somebody out there that needs you. There is somebody that needs the transformation, the support, the um, expertise, the information that you are offering. And the
Yeah.
best way to let the world know you do that is to go on camera. And it took me a long time to get to grips with that, but I haven't regretted a minute of doing it. And the more I do it, the more people are actually coming into my world. And
Yeah.
I didn't know that that was what going to happen when I started doing it.
Yeah. It's leading with impact, isn't it? It's really help thinking
Mm,
about those people that you are here to help that are then going to be magnetized to what it is that you're doing. I love that.
yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on, Sarah. For anybody that is listening or has watched this podcast episode, you can get a 15-minute energize your setup call with Sarah. I will pop the link in the show notes below. Sarah, where is the best place to connect with you in the online space?
And the best place is actually on LinkedIn. That's where you will find most of my stuff. I do a little bit on Instagram, but I'm much more LinkedIn at the moment. So come and find me, Sarah Pocklington. I'm the one in the purple sparkly top on a pink background. You can't miss me. And if anybody, if anybody's got any questions, then, just drop them in the DMs.
Thank you so much, Sarah. And if you've enjoyed this episode, if this has helped you get that little bit of confidence to do that first live, to do that first video, to put yourself forward for hosting a masterclass or whatever it is, do let us know. Please do leave a review as well for the podcast. And I will see you in the next episode. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Sarah.
Thank you. Bye.